Happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Rob Eicher. Thanks for tuning in to the Florida Weather Authority on this August the 21st. And some good news for the first time since August the 9th, we do not have a heat advisory in effect for the greater Orlando area. Now, the Panhandle, the Miami area, not so lucky, but no heat advisory for you in the Orlando area. And that's, again, the first time since August 9th, 11 straight days we've had a heat advisory. Heat advisory means a heat index of 108 or greater. We're not quite going to get there. Don't get excited. It's not going to be fall-like by any means. It's still going to be pretty miserably hot. We're just probably going to miss out on making that 108 heat index by a degree or two. In other words, heat index probably up around 105, 106 instead of 108. So, yay, a slight win there. Why? Well, if you look at the satellite imagery as the sun was coming up this morning, there was a little bit more in the way of cloud cover over east central Florida than, say, over the panhandle. But more importantly, we're expecting an earlier start to the showers and thunderstorms across east central Florida today. In fact, some of the best chances for rain in the state will be east central Florida, particularly the I-95 corridor from Flagler County down to, say, Palm Beach County. In other words, the weather today is going to look a lot like this shot taken by my colleague, Dr. Sarah Strazo at Embry-Riddle. There was a pretty impressive lightning storm over campus yesterday between about 3:30 and 4:30. And as you can imagine, with a hallway full of meteorologists in the meteorology program, there's not a whole lot of work getting done. We were all staring out the window. I had my camera pointed out the window, recording for about 20 minutes, and didn't catch anything spectacular. I might post some clips of that. Sarah, who has the office just a couple doors down and has a very slightly different view, was doing the same thing, and she happened to catch this amazing photo. Now, I'm showing you this not just because it's an amazing photo. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing that. But because I'm expecting today to look very similar in the sense that we're not expecting widespread severe weather, but the showers and thunderstorms that do form, or the thunderstorms that do form, will be capable of producing an incredible amount of lightning, much like they were yesterday. And they will tend to be concentrated up and down I-95. So the best chance for rain at say 4, 5, 6 o'clock later today will be along the coastline. And again, those storms will be lightning storms, but not necessarily technically severe thunderstorms. And I'm expecting tomorrow to be very similar as well. If you're worried about the tropics, well, there's not a whole lot going on. We've got two systems that both have a mere 20% chance of developing into our next named storm. One not too far away from Bermuda, and the other one, believe it or not, approaching Portugal. That one, again, only has a 20% chance of developing, but it's interesting that we're even talking about something that far north and west in the Atlantic, that it's actually heading in the direction of Portugal. But nothing that we need to worry about here in Florida. Our forecast, again, pretty typical summer weather for the next couple of days. Hey, by the way, our average high temperature now down to 91. Woohoo! Fall's just around the corner. Low to mid 90s for the next 7 days, with again a heat index up around 105 each day, so just barely shy of the heat advisory criteria. Decent chance of rain both today and tomorrow, but higher chance of rain if you live along the immediate coastline, that I-95 corridor. Winds will shift around ever so slightly on Sunday, allowing the interior sections of the Orlando area specifically a little bit better chance of rain. And then some slightly drier air moves in for Monday, but again, otherwise the next 7 days, pretty typical, normal August stuff for us. With highs in the low to mid 90s, and again, a chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms each day. Enjoy. Again, thanks for tuning in. For Tom and Amy, I'm Rob Eicher.